Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. I've got 5 really quick and easy DIYs to share with you. I had asked some of my viewers if we wanted another Christmas one or go straight to Christmas or straight to like winter stuff or everyday stuff. So today's is a little bit of a mixture. I've got one ornament that could also just be a tier tray item, and then 4 just little decor pieces. They'd be great on a tier tray. You could use them for winter or for Christmas, obviously, or both. So let's get into it.
So for this first one, I have this spice jar that I had saved. I love saving jars that I think could be used in something. And we're just going to start by Mod Podging the lid. We're going to paint it, and my understanding is that the paint will adhere often better on metal and if you Mod Podge it first. So we're going to put a coat of Mod Podge, and then once that dries, we're going to put a coat of white paint. I'm using white Waverly chalk paint. I actually end up doing 2 coats of that, and then once it dries, I also do another coat of Mod Podge, but we're going to skip over that. Now, I've got these little trees. These came from the Dollar Tree. They had them in silver and gold and white and green, I think, but Dollar General also had them, and I'm sure Hobby Lobby does as well. And all we're doing is taking some hot glue, and we're going to put this down. Now, I accidentally literally dropped it, but have no fear. I was able to get it placed. And then I'm just using paper to make a funnel, and I'm putting some of that faux snow. I'll show you the bag of it, I think, in another DIY. But from Dollar Tree, you could also just use glitter or Epsom salt. And we're just going to put just enough to kind of coat the bottom. You could also do this reversed where the lid is the bottom for that type of a snow globe. But I love the look of these, and you're going to see I do another one similar. I love the look of these in these jars, and I just think it's super cute. So I have this red and white baker's twine, and I'm just going to wrap that around the top and tie a little bow. You could obviously use anything like twine, ribbon, whatever you want. You could even put an embellishment on the glass if you had something that seemed appropriate for what you were doing. You could put another figurine in there. It doesn't have to be a tree. But I thought this was really cute and simple and would be very cute on a tier tray or tucked into just along with some other decor. So I love this, and it'd be really cute just for the winter. So for this next one, something similar. These little tiny jars come in a 4-pack, I think, from Dollar Tree. And then I have these mini trees from the Dollar Tree, and here is that faux snow I used in the last one. And this is so quick and simple. I had these jars laying around because I'd used them for another DIY a while back, so I still have a couple of them. So we are just going to put some faux snow at the bottom. You don't need any tools. Well, I do end up using some hot glue, but you don't necessarily need it. I'm making sure it's standing up straight before I push it in, and it just pop it down in. And then I just grabbed something to kind of, help it settle down in a little bit more. It took me a little while to find something good here. But the jar is so small that the tree's not going to like topple over or anything, so I don't need to hot glue it. I think I ended up using a wooden skewer like a toothpick. And then I did decide to put a little bit of hot glue in the rim before I screwed it on, just because if this is on my tree and it does fall, I mean, obviously it could also break, but I don't want the lid to pop off and snow to go everywhere. So I took some twine, and I'm just using my lighter to burn off all of the fuzzies to just kind of give a cleaner look to it. You don't have to do this. I like doing that. I also like the look that it gives the twine, but it doesn't really matter. And I am just going to wrap it around a couple of times, tie it in a knot, and then we're going to tie a loop so that we can hang this up on the tree. You could also not put any twine on it and also set this on like a little tier tray or in like a little, I don't know, collection of items to make a scene. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Assemblage, is that the word? Anyways, you could do it however you want, but I thought it was really cute as a little ornament, and there it is. That's all there was to it. Super quick and simple to do. So I've had this little wooden sled from the Dollar Tree for a while, and I wasn't totally sure what I wanted to do with it. And then it came to me. So we're going to cut off the string. I tried to cut it off close to the knot so that I could just use the same string at the end, but you could of course use new twine or whatever. And this did take a little while because this one has so many little openings, but I am going to take my antique wax and I'm going to brush it on and wipe it off with a paper towel, and I'm going to do all of the sides in between every little slat. We're going to do the underside, So do the whole thing. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time, but it's not hard. But I just wanted to make sure all of the surfaces had the antique wax. Now while that's drying, we're going to move on to the decorating, and I have these shower curtain rings from the Dollar Tree. They come in a 12-pack. I had plans to do several things with them, but I ended up just doing this one thing this year, and maybe I'll use the rest throughout the year, not just for Christmas, but I'll definitely be using them again next year for Christmas. And I am just using the garland ties from the Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, and I think Walmart also sells them as well. And I'm just hot gluing the end of it to keep it in place, and we're just going to wrap it around. I think I used like 2.5 garland ties, but you're just going to wrap it around. If you want, you can glue it at the beginning and the end, but you don't need to glue it any other time. They are wired. Once I had the whole thing wrapped, obviously it looked a little too furry. Couldn't really see the circle, you couldn't see the inside. So I gave it a really, really good trimming with some scissors. I just kept going until it looked the way that I wanted it to. If you like this type of video, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. I love sharing budget-friendly DIYs with you all year round. And yeah, so subscribe if you are new. And there is my wreath all finished. I made a little bow out of this ribbon that I think I got from Dollar General for $1. It's a really good quality ribbon, but it was only $1. We're just going to hot glue that on top of the wreath, and then we're going to glue the wreath onto the sled, and I'm just going to secure that at the top and bottom of it, and then attach the twine back into it just for looks. Although you could hang this, you could use this as an ornament, you could hang it on a little hook, or you could just lean it like I'm going to for some decor. For this next one, I have this little white bucket that came in a 2-pack. I think it's in the wedding section at Dollar Tree. And then this bag of white pom-poms. They also sell the combination like red, white, and green at Dollar Tree as well. And then I have some ribbon. So I'm going to start by just wrapping that around. That actually took me a little longer. I spared you some of that just because the bucket narrows at the bottom. So the ribbon, if you don't attach it right, it just kind of bows, but you can figure it out. I did. And then I have these little chalkboard signs from Dollar Tree. I'm just taking off the clothespin off the back of it, which was took a little bit of effort, but it did work. And then we're going to use the chalk marker from the Dollar Tree to write on our sign. And at first it didn't work. It was too big and bulky like the writing was. So I just kind of took the marker and what I have laying down here, the buffalo check, is just wrapping paper for my surface, my crafting surface, and I'm just kind of twirling it as I'm putting a little pressure on it to kind of point and make it a little bit more pointy, just so that I could write a little bit easier. Now I did another little thing with this bucket. With the other one, I made a little ornament. I'll see if I can find that video and link that for you. This one I'm not doing as an ornament, but you certainly could, but I'm just going to use this as a little tiered tray decor. And now I'm taking a little piece of that garland again, trimming it up, cutting it in half, and we're just going to use that to embellish the front. We're going to hot glue those on. And then I have this little silver piece, which is from the decorative filler that I've used in other DIYs. It's from the Dollar Tree. It's not actually a Christmas item, although it kind of looks it to me. And I'm just kind of chopping off the back of it so that this will lay flat more like a button, and hot glue that into the center of the garland ties. I'm just taking a little bit of tissue paper. I'm going to hot glue that and just kind of shove that in the bottom, just so I don't have to use all cotton balls, or pom-poms rather. You could use little cotton balls, but I think cotton balls might be a little too big for this. But that would work if you couldn't find the white pom-poms. So I'm just kind of piling in some hot glue and then dumping in some cotton balls, and I do that a couple times until I just have them nice and piled. And then I'm taking our little snowball sign, and I'm going to hot glue that onto just a little piece of wooden skewer that I have. Just to really secure it, I'm going to take a popsicle stick and hot glue that across the back. I do end up Mod Podging the front too, just because I don't want the snowballs writing to come off at all, but I don't really share that with you. I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue at the bottom and tuck that in the back of our little bucket, and I thought this was super cute. Once again, you could hang something from the handle and use this as an ornament if you wanted as well. All right, so for this last one, I have this little ornament that came from the Dollar Tree. I bought it, I think, last year or the year before, but they have them again this year. And then this is a little piece from those little like wood kit scenery things that Dollar Tree had. They had like trees and snowmen. They had one with Santa. And I'm just using the base of it. But you could use, there's lots of little things from Dollar Tree that you could use for this. So I'm painting it with some black paint, painting in between all of the little slats. I want this to be a solid black. I do end up painting the underside as well and Mod Podging the whole thing. I just don't share all of that with you. And then we're moving on to our ornament. I pulled the string off of it, and in the center you saw there was a little hole. I had previously pulled off the items that were on top of that. So we're going to make something to cover that up. I've got some little bells, jingle bells from the Dollar Tree, and I'm threading them on some black floral wire, and I'm just going to kind of wrap them together to make a little bundle, and then I'm going to twist the floral wire together in order to get a little bit of like a stem on it. And then we're going to take some black paint and a stencil brush and kind of dry brush on the paint onto the bells and then kind of wipe it off, just kind of going until I get a little bit of a different look. I want them to look more black than silver. I didn't want them to be shiny. I wanted them to kind of look old, and I also wanted them to match the item, the decoration a little bit better. So I did that until I got the look that I liked, and then we're just going to thread that through the hole, and I just kind of bent it around the back and put some hot glue, a good amount of hot glue, and then I trimmed up the wire. Now we're going to just attach this little ornament, making a little sign. I used some Gorilla Glue because that dries clear and gives a longer hold, and then I used a little bit of hot glue, and then I felt like it needed something else, plus I wanted to be able to put a little bit more glue to hold it better. So I'm taking another one of those garland ties and trimming it up. This works so well. As you can see, I did that a lot during this video. And we are going to trim that up and then glue that around the front. That gives us a little bit more decoration, and also I can add more glue, which adds a little bit more stability. And at first I was just going to do it around the front and wrap it around the back, but then I decided I wanted it all the way around the back, so I added another piece. Even though the back isn't totally finished, I just thought that looked better. And I thought this was super cute. Once again, can add to a shelf, but it would also be really cute on a tier tray as well.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you are new and haven't yet subscribed, I would love it if you would consider doing so before you leave. And make sure that you have your notification bell turned on so that YouTube will notify you when I post a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.